Back in 97, 98, one of the reasons I was incredibly excited by this brave new world was that it felt like a time that was going to be more democratic, redistributive, new voices were going to emerge, more entrepreneurialism, more opportunity for people to be empowered. And to a degree, that's been true. It would be hard to argue that technology hadn't unleashed the capacity for more people to do more things than ever before. But I am also constantly struck by some of the things that haven't quite happened as I imagined. And perhaps the biggest of those are the huge numbers of people who don't use technology. Might sound perverse, but it's easy to forget that actually half the world is not connected to the internet. And even in my own country, the UK, there are 13 million adults in a population of around 60 million adults who never use technology, and about another 10 million who only have very basic skills. I believe there's a huge prize for the company, organization, or country that puts this right at the heart of its strategy. I do believe that's as true for a corporate as it is for a country. Now is a time when every single employee or citizen should understand and use the power of this technology. The internet is the organizing principle of our age, and yet we are not yet organized around it. It's sobering to think that the entire European technology sector is only 7% of that of the US's. 7%. And this is the most rapidly growing chunk of the economy in pretty much most developed countries. We are still, together, only 7%. So I constantly think about how else can we separate the new world in our countries, here in Europe, from those coming from the US. And one thing I would suggest is by building much stronger values and ethics into our technology. And again, that has to come from leaders. And that's about maybe different relationships to data between companies and their users. Definitely more diversity and gender balance and other balance of all kinds of voices. Maybe also about how communities get served, underserved communities, social problems get addressed. I think that's how we could differentiate ourselves here in Europe. We're never going to be able to build quite the same level of economic power as the US and clearly China, but there may be other things we can use to our advantage. So here we are now in 2017. I believe if digital understanding is at the top of leaders' priorities, if we build for more inclusive growth and we put ethics and social responsibility at our core values, then we'll have a good shot of the future. And that future, I believe, is still very exciting. Yes, it's speeding up. Yes, it's still scary in many ways. How do we teach children about technology? What does it mean for those left behind? How on earth can we navigate the pace of change? But my goodness me, I would rather be living now than any other time. Think of how we can talk to each other across the world. Think of the friends that we can make, virtual and real. Think of the ways that we can spread information to positive effect, not just negative. So I am hugely optimistic, but we need to grab it. And I urge you, as business leaders, political leaders, corporate leaders of every kind, to put the internet at the heart of your strategies.
How should companies think about perception in a digital era where social media is king?
I think it goes back to something I touched on at the end of my speech, which is about responsibility and ethical nature of what I think you should put at the heart of your businesses. To me, you can't hide now. You have to have the right values. And all of these kind of clashes and PR disasters happen when you're not living those right values. You're trying to be something that the company is not. So authenticity and having a real identity is so vital, because this is an age when things are not opaque anymore. And we know from every angle that both young people coming into the workforce want to work for companies where they feel they have transparent beliefs and they are companies that live what they really say. We know that customers more and more want to feel like they understand what people's values are. And social media is part of this. You know, you can't say we are a company that stands for integrity and we always answer our customers and then have a Twitter handle where you've got 5,000 customers, all complaints, and you haven't answered them. So you've got to match what is internal and what is external. And the easiest way to do that, in my experience, is to be it.